Hello and welcome to Silent No More, the podcast with your host, Dr. Monica. I am so excited that you all are here today. And, normally I go into all this hoopla about sponsors and about other stuff, but we have three powerhouses that are going to be with us today, and they're going to talk about their journey to greatness. So the title of this week's show is, drum roll please. Those aren't drums, those are my fingers. I don't know if you can hear me, but anyway, speak up with the Get Back Girls. Speak up with the Get Back Girls. The premise of this show is basically to provide a platform for people to share their stories and to allow their voices to be heard, whether that is based on trauma, based on triumph, success, whatever it is. The purpose is to provide a platform for people's greatness to shine along with their journey, because not every journey is great. Not every journey is bright, but there's always light at the end of the tunnel. So I do want to have a little shameless plug. I wrote a book little while ago, and it is called Daughter in the Shadows. Can you see that? Daughter in the Shadows. If you are tuning in on Facebook Live, YouTube, Instagram, you can see a little bit of the book. Yeah. It's called Daughter in the Shadows, and it's a memoir about my life. You can purchase that on Amazon.com, BarnesandNoble.com, or on my website, www.drmonicahunter.com. There are 4 themes within the book. One is childhood trauma. Then we have teenage pregnancy, living with domestic violence in silence, and life after divorce. There is life after divorce. I don't want y'all to go out and get on divorces or nothing, but there is life after divorce. So if you want to hear about my story, about how I was able to overcome those traumas that I experienced and endured, please purchase this book. All right. So without further ado, I'm not going into all the stuff that I normally go into because I want you to hear each one of these guests. And they are called the Get Back Girls. So I'm going to introduce them, add them to the screen, add them to the broadcast, and then they're going to share some information about themselves. Hello, ladies.
Hello.
Oh,
Long time no see, like a couple weeks ago, right?
right.
All right. So, ladies, if you all could introduce yourselves, that'd be amazing. We'll start with Aisha, then Erica, and last but definitely not least, we'll hear from Crystal.
Okay, I'm Aisha Hayes Taylor. I'm so excited to be here with you this morning, Dr. Monica. And I am a mom. I'm a business owner, a wife, and I'm excited to be here. I'm a part of the original Get Back Girls, and I have got back. So we'll talk more about that later.
Love it. Erica.
Yes. Hello. I am Erica Denise. I use she, her pronouns, and I am the Director of Learning and Creative Engagement at Actors Theater of Louisville. And I am also the owner of Erica Denise Entertainment that has been in business since 2011. And I'm so excited about the growth and all of the things that has happened with my business. Yeah. So I got back too, y'all.
That's right.
Two get backs.
And Crystal.
Hello, everybody. It's Crystal Goodner-Spratt, and just an area media personality. I do public relations for Louisville's only HBCU, Simmons College of Kentucky. I host a talk show for the largest Black church in the state of Kentucky, St. Stephen Baptist Church. And you can catch me Monday through Friday from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. on 104.7 WLOU. I got back.
Yes. And we have a member of the Get Back Girls who's not able to be with us this evening. Our sister Ashi, she had a death in the family, and so she's unable to be with us, but she was able to get back too. I was looking at a picture the other day. Actually, it was yesterday. Aisha's, I guess, uncle-in-law works at my school. And so I was scrolling through and I showed him a picture of us 8 years ago. And I was like, look at us.
Oh my
We look totally different.
8 years.
Was that 8 years ago?
It's been 8 years.
Mm-hmm. My God.
Yes.
I cannot believe it.
Oh,
Isn't that crazy?
That is correct.
That is crazy.
But I'm going to have to send y'all the picture because we look like completely different people. And I remember in that particular picture, we were at LCCC and I had cried all day. And when you look at the picture, my eyes were puffy. And I was like, oh my goodness. And when I walked in, I said, I hope nobody realizes that I look different. But we didn't know each other anyway, so y'all didn't know the wiser. But I was like, oh my gosh, I don't look like what I went through back then.
Yeah,
Crazy.
wow.
It's
Which
crazy.
are you talking about, the event or when we first met at Cracker Barrel?
No, it was after the event.
Okay.
We were at LCCC working on something,
I
and we
remember.
took a picture together.
Okay.
Do we have the babies in the picture?
Yes, the babies
Oh,
are in
yes,
the picture.
yes.
The baby.
Yeah.
Arden
Yeah.
and Kinsley.
Kinley.
Kinley.
Yep.
Yeah.
And they're big girls now.
Big girls, honey. 9.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah, Arden will be 9.
crazy.
My God.
See?
So it has been 8 years. Isn't that
Yep.
crazy?
Yes.
Year of new beginnings.
Oh,
Year of
Hey,
new beginnings.
come on, number.
That's right. So, Crystal, can you talk about how this all came about? Because I know you approached me about the Get Back Girls before it was even called the Get Back Girls. But can you talk a little bit about your vision with this?
Well, first, let me, this gives me an opportunity to share a little bit about my story. At the time, I was an announcer for a gospel radio station, and I was harboring a secret, and that was that I was pregnant. Low down dirt. I'm just joking. And I was not married, and so I was harboring this secret. The listeners didn't know. Only a few people knew what I was going through at that time. And I remember with being in my room with my new baby and listening to Robin Roberts on the television station, just talking about how her mom had always told her to make her mess her message. And it was in that moment I was like, what am I doing? I'm grown. And if I feel I'm in this position right now, I really feel like me sharing my story can help other people who might be going through the same thing, or me just sharing the story, and I might find support in other women that might be going through something. And so from there, it was just in my mind. And I remember thinking the Get Back, because I felt like I had lost so much in the relationship that I had just come out of. I felt I lost myself. I let my weight go. I lost my identity. I lost my purpose. I lost my drive. And so I was like, just get back. And then God began to tell me people that he wanted me to bring in to be part of this movement. And I said, really? The first person I think was Monica. We was in a beauty shop, and I had known of Monica, but we didn't really know each other on a deep level. And I was like, well, God, why her? She's married. She's a first lady. Like, what could she be trying to get back? God knew. And then me and Erica had crossed paths a couple of years before. We stared each other down, and then we said, we love each other because we're both divas. So we had worked together on a couple of things, but I remember talking to her, and God said, get her. She's one too. And I said, okay. And I almost felt it like, Erica, I'm sorry. God is telling me he wants you to be part of something. And then Aisha, because Aisha had done a show on the station on WLOU. And I remember just meeting her. She was just this excited, bubbly person. You never would think that she would have that much joy, especially after you've heard what she had gone through. And so I was always kind of like inspired by her. And her and I just got to talking, and I said, Aisha too. And then reached out to Ashi because she does photography to see if she could, help take some pictures. And then she wound it up, wound up. There we go. Wound up part of the group, because she, in fact, also needed to get back on track. She needed some inspiration and direction, and definitely a group of women that could help her get her to where she wanted to be. And then the rest is history.
Wow.
All right, so yeah, we met up at Cracker Barrel.
Cracker Barrel.
Our first official meetup, and
From all places, Cracker Barrel.
I remember when I walked in the space, because I was so used to always being on as a first lady, and I just had a horrible conversation with my ex-husband before I walked in. I was like, don't let these women see you break. Do not cry. I mean, don't do it. You have to be the epitome of strength. And honey, by the time I started my story, I was a weeping willow.
We all were.
Yeah.
I mean, wouldn't you agree there was something special going on right there? Because I really didn't know you ladies like on a deep, deep level, but we all felt comfortable with one another to really share what was really going on.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It was a moment in my life where I had been praying for sister friends because,
Mm.
you know, I've known Aisha for what, since 2008?
8 for sure.
And so,
Maybe 7.
so
Yeah.
Aisha knows my relationship with women, and that was non-existent before. So I had like maybe 2 girlfriends before Aisha came into my life. And then, you know, I've been praying for more of a tribe, and you all came into my life, you know, at the perfect time. So that was great.
It may have been the perfect time, but you aren't interested. And our friends. No, Erica, me and Erica got close a couple of years ago. We've been friends, quote unquote friends, for 8 years. We've been friends for about 3 years. Because she said, I'm not doing this. I'm too busy.
Listen,
I have businesses. I got stuff going on.
I'm
Y'all
good.
have Aisha and my other 2 girlfriends, and y'all just business partners. But God did a work. He did a work in her. You know what I
he
mean?
turned that thing around, didn't he?
He did.
I mean, and it's funny because God will let you meet your match, because I always thought that I was really dramatic, but I could not count how many times we've had these storm off type situations with her. I mean, she is true to her form, y'all. What you see, she is true. Like, I mean, I
Really?
just love it, but I was just like, damn, okay.
Listen, I live by the no new friends motto. Okay.
See, and the truth is heard. The truth is told. The truth is heard. No, real quick before we start into our stories, speaking of the storming off, I remember I was on a phone call outside. We had a meeting about something. And I was talking to a friend, and all of a sudden, I think it was Erica said, I'm not doing this.
Yeah.
And drove off. And I went in the house. Crystal was making her fiance a plate, and everything like nothing ever happened. I said, what did I miss? What did I miss?
What are we doing? Was that the vision board story, or was that?
No, that was
we were
after the
planning
vision
something
board.
else?
We were
No, we
supposed to
were
be planning an event.
our monologue. We were gonna do a monologue.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's what it was. It was the monologues, and Crystal was trying to tell me how to produce a show. What you mean? You can't tell me how to do what I do for a living.
Well, I mean, you see what I'm saying? And it's creatives. And I was just like, I had some ideas. And she said, and she said, I'm out of here. And I said, okay, well, let me get my plate though, for real.
And she did. Erica was down the street. Crystal was eating her chicken.
Listen,
Aisha was like, this is enough. I'm gonna go ahead and go
there.
now. She's always the calm after the storm.
Listen, y'all, this is real friendship.
Right.
This is real friendship. I was just talking to Erica about this a couple of days ago about just being so privileged and honored about all of the journeys of friendships that I've had, because you know, on social media and all of that, it looks like, oh my God, they're always, but friendship is going to be those highs and lows, and you're going to rub each other, and you're supposed to be sharpening each other. So
Yeah.
iron sharpens iron. So it's not always going to be, you know, roses and flowers. And when you start something and you think that, that's how it falls apart. And we've seen many, many people step up to try this, and then it falls apart for them because you got to stick in it. You know, you got to stick in the journey of it and realize that everybody is who they are, love each other anyway. And then the next day, y'all be fine. We was always fine. I don't even think it took a whole day.
No,
But-
it didn't. Maybe with Crystal and Erica that one time. But after that, we've been fine ever since, friends.
We've been fine ever since. Been fine ever since.
Fine ever since. All right. So who would like to tell their story first? Who would like to share their journey where you were, and how that impacted our friendship, impacted our journeys and our accountability and all the things? Who would like to share their journey first? First, come on to God who's ahead of my life. I guess I'll go first. All right. So I've shared a little bit about my story in last week's show. But I do want to reiterate how or where I was when this group started. So I was the first lady of the largest Black church in a small town, New Albany, Indiana, and I left at the height of the ministry. And the reason I left is because I experienced different types of abuse, physical abuse, verbal abuse, mental abuse, emotional abuse, psychological abuse. I experienced a lot of abuse during the marriage. But for some reason, I thought that if I left when I did, because I made sure that all the ministries were functioning properly, everyone was properly trained, we had systems for everything. If I left when I did, no one would notice that I was gone. And so, of course, they did. And it was a very public, very nasty divorce. And I was broken. When I saw Crystal at the hair salon and she asked me to be part of this group, I was thinking, well, maybe this is God telling me I should stay. But I couldn't. I couldn't. It wasn't safe. It wasn't healthy for me, for my children. And so during that time, I looked like I was doing well, and it sounded like I was doing well because of the things I was doing in the community, with women, in my career, with my children, even in my marriage. But no one knew what was happening behind closed doors. That's where I was broken. And so when I tell this all the time, every time I tell my story, I had no one, because my ex-husband was a local legend. And he was a very prominent pastor. And I was the crazy person in their eyes, you know, those that were on the outside looking in, because I left such a prominent space. And he was able to brainwash and turn people against me. He attempted to turn my children against me. And these ladies were my only friends. They didn't know this, but they were my only friends at the time. And if it hadn't been for them, there were many times I was sitting at home by myself for hours. I couldn't sleep. And I remember she was like, well, ride with me to Atlanta. And then Chris said, well, come over, let's have some pizza and wine. And it was just like, these are my people. And it took some years for me to add to my tribe. But I'm really thankful for these ladies, because I was able to garner strength through their strength. I was able to garner self-assurance through their confidence, whether I knew of their confidence or not. What I saw is what I believed. And so that's where I was right now. At the time I was a teacher. I went from a teacher to being an academic instructional coach to being an assistant principal. I got my doctorate. My kids are doing well. My oldest graduated from college since then. My middle is working. He's artistic, so he's creative, and he does what he wants to when he wants to. My youngest, he's actually in college now, and life is not perfect. There are things I still want, but I'm happy and I'm content in my space right now. So I'm completely different than where I was when this group first started.
Yes.
You're a homeowner.
I'm a homeowner, yes.
And a
property owner outside of my home. Have
and
other things going on.
Did you say principal already?
Yeah, principal.
Mm-hmm. You said author extraordinaire.
Oh, I didn't say author. I'm an author. Yes, I'm an author. I forgot about that stuff.
Come on now.
So your sister friends will not let you forget.
I know, right? I won't forget.
Oh, Monica.
Get back, girls.
Yes.
I think all of our lives are completely unrecognizable 8 years later. You know, like never thought that we would be where we are.
No.
Never.
No. Erica, let's hear about your journey.
So I really don't even remember what I was doing 8 years ago. I was at LCCC. I know I had just started at LCCC.
Yeah.
I had been there for a year or so. I was in a relationship that has now ended after 10 years. But that is done. That taught me a lot of lessons. LCCC was really my foundation where I was able to start the Youth Repertory Theater Troupe of Louisville and the Tiny Tyke Theater Troupe of Louisville. I've had hundreds of kids come through that program and trained them in theater, one-on-one musical theater specifically. Had tons of talented young people come through that program who are still doing it to this day, which excites me. So I really feel like I was able to kind of nurture those young people a little bit. That led to me getting a job at Actors Theater of Louisville. I am the first African-American woman in senior directorship in the history of Actors Theater.
Yes.
That happened in 2019. Um, Also, I bought my first house last year in October.
Awesome.
Yes. I also got into the Russell Business Tech Incubator in 2020, and that was a game changer for my business, Erica Denise Entertainment, that I started in 2011 while I was at Shelby Elementary as the bookkeeper with Aisha. That's where we actually met at Shelby Elementary. What was I talking about?
Your get back.
About you.
About your get back. Where you were.
Yes. um, so Actors Theater, and then Erica Denise Entertainment. Yeah, that's what I was talking about. The incubator. I'm sorry, my mind just leaves sometimes, but I'm back. So that was a game changer for my business. I ended up winning the last pitch competition for $15,000. That incubator also poured so much capital, so many resources into my business. And then I had like this. It's the pitch deck that we use. Aisha, you know what I'm talking about.
Mhm.
And you have to kind of lay out what your business is going to be, and you got to put your competitors and all the things on there and kind of show how you want to scale your business and what you want to do. And I remember putting on there that I wanted to provide entertainment for corporate and private events, specifically for Humana and the GEs and the Fords and the places like that, and do big festivals and put our local artists on platforms that would be able to showcase their talent. And I'm telling you, in last year, 2022, I did all of that and more. I got contracts with Humana. I got contracts with the Fund for the Arts. I did 2 festivals. I did the Kentucky Derby Festival Block Party, which was the first block party that was geared towards African Americans. And it is going to be a continuous thing every year. I secured the contract again for this year, 2020.
Come on, contract.
Yeah, so look out for that. If you are an artist and you would like to be on that in that festival, let me know, and we'll see.
In Louisville, Kentucky.
In Louisville, Kentucky. Yes. Come on, because this show is global.
Whoa.
Yes, I did festivals. I did all kinds of events and gigs under Erica Denise Entertainment. And right now, I have been, I said 2022 was the best year and the worst year of my life, because while I was out here winning professionally, privately and personally, I was going through some trials and tribulations with grief and death in my family. I lost my brother in March of 22 on the first day of spring, March 20th of 2022. And now currently dealing with illnesses with close family members today. And so, but I'm so grateful for the Get Back Girls, because you all have been my strength. You all have held me up. You all have prayed for me. And when I tell you, these ladies are some praying fools, you hear me? I know that y'all know God. And I'm just so grateful to just be in your mix, because I use you all as my level. Is that the right word? As my what's it called?
Is that a barometer?
Yes, barometer. Come on, Crystal.
No, come on.
Come on, vocab.
As you all are succeeding and prospering and being beautiful women and leading the way and showing an example, I'm behind y'all, 100% following y'all. So I'm grateful. So that's my story.
Awesome sauce. So just to bring some clarity to her story, she got $15,000 last year, and that was about 2/3 of your salary when you were a bookkeeper.
Yeah.
Right. So you got one check that was 2/3 of your salary right before we met each other.
Yeah.
Which is crazy.
It is. And I'm a big journaler. And I write stuff in my journal that comes true. So Aisha, I showed you the other day, I said, I'm going to make 4 times my salary by this time next year. And I said 5 times. And then it was actually 4 times. Mm-hmm. And so that happened. I said that summer that I left LCCC was going to be my last summer, and it was. I said, God, you have got to give me this director position at Actors Theater supernaturally, because I did not have the education for it. You're supposed to have a master's degree, and I only have an associate's degree, and I'm still got in that thing. Okay, so ain't nothing but God.
That's
Mm.
right.
Oh, and I
That's
also
right.
host a radio show on 104.7, like my sis Crystal Goodness Spratt, every Saturday called Amped Up at 12 o'clock. So tune into that if you are in Louisville, Kentucky.
All right. That's crazy. Like all that is crazy. Because I remember when we first met. And Erica has softened, friends. She's softened. Erica has softened, and I think it's because she has a sisterhood. And
Oh,
it's allowed us to love her. Remember when we were at the we did our Where Are They Now show at WLOU, and we gave her a group hug, and she like, I think that was her breakthrough.
I can't take it. I could not take that. Why
She's like,
I forgot all about that.
You're a hugger. She's a hugger now.
I
Yes.
know.
Oh, God.
Yes.
I have
What's
turned-
happening here? Get your arms away from me.
I don't know. I hate that soft girl season is a trend because I do actually believe I am tapping into a softer side of me.
Yes.
It feels good. You know, I'm tired of hustling. I'm tired of trying to be the boss. I'm tired of doing all of that. I just want to relax, you know, and be soft for a change.
Mm-hmm.
But you were clawing your way to the top, and you can say that you are at your top or one of your tops, and so you feel as if you can kind of relax and take a break.
Yeah. And just, you know,
Like Hamilton, take a break.
Take a break.
Yes. All right, Aisha, it's your turn. Tell us a little bit about you. What's been going on?
Yes. So when I started, my Get Back was one of the primary stories that I shared was about my son Jameson and his diagnosis of autism, and just because that's how Crystal and I met. I was actually on the show for the book that I was a part of, NAI, No Artificial Ingredients, and I just shared my story, and that story was really the one that in that season I feel like I was living through, but also helping other people through, and just needed a place to really rest that story and just say like, okay, I've come this far. I can put it down. Even what Erica was saying, like having a moment to rest. I just feel like I needed a moment to rest. And that's what the Get Back Girls was. It was just a time of like releasing that story, even releasing him. I can remember being in the kitchen. He was diagnosed at 2. And prior to that, he was a typical child, speaking language, all of the things. And then it began to, his language first began to just decrease from where it was. And then we started to see, lack of eye contact and things like that. But I remember at 13, which would have been about the time, let's see, because it's been what, 8 years for Get Back Girl. So it would have been about a year prior. I was sitting in the kitchen and I was just overwhelmed. And I just remember being like, God, I cannot do this anymore. Like I was fighting him to take the supplements and the vitamins and to make sure that like his diet was healthy because we were doing gluten-free, dairy-free, and just all the things. And I was just really tired of fighting about it. And I remember just saying like, God, I am just tired and I am done. And I remember hearing in my spirit, good, now give him to me. And I think what the Get Back Girls supplied for me, ironically, was a place to be able to hear from other women and not drown in my own sorrow. Because I would have been just fixated on my own problems. And the Get Back Girls gave me an opportunity to just hear what others were going through. Because you can kind of get in this little tunnel. I think with specifically with autism, because it is like the fight of your life. You're fighting everything, doctors, teachers, diagnosis, food. It's just, and you're learning. So you almost kind of get in this cocoon of learning and trying to figure it out. And you're constantly fighting and, putting that down and resting and just saying, okay, God, you take over. The Get Back Girls gave me just an opportunity to leave that there and focus somewhere else that wasn't all about me. And just, for a while, I kind of grappled with, I'm going to be, okay, I'm going to turn all of my ambition and my fight into, writing a book and starting this fantabulous business. And probably if we go back and look at some Get Back Girl stuff, I'm sure there was some of that in there. But what I really feel like my genuine get back was kind of back to what Crystal said, was getting back to my genuine joy.
Mm.
Like genuinely having joy and genuinely, no matter what the circumstances are, because we're going to have amazing high days and then we're going to have, moments of grief and moments of sorrow. But the joy is something, the old folks used to say, you can't take my joy away. And I think like culture wants us to always be happy, walk in the room and you light it up for everybody else. But on the inside, you're like literally dying and just wasting away. But to me, in this entire process, no matter if it was, I'm gonna write a New York Times bestseller, which I'm still gonna do, by the way.
That's right.
I'm gonna, have this $1 million business, which I'm still gonna do, by the way.
That's right.
I really just allowed the Lord to like pour joy into me and got a better understanding of what that means as far as the way He intended it. And that was just maintaining that happiness, maintaining that being anchored to something your entire life, despite the rain, despite the sunshine. And I feel like that's been my process with the Get Back Girls. And where I am now is, honey, listen, when Erica met me, I had one son. And I told everybody, and you want to talk about people thinking you crazy? I was 37 when I got married. But from the time I was 22 until 37, I told people, I'm going to get married and I'm going to have more kids. And, you get 25 and they're like, oh, okay, girl. And then, 30, whoo, all right. 35, they like, ma'am, what are you smoking? Nothing. But it was just a defiance, just like I know what God told me. I don't need y'all's approval. And I'm going to keep speaking this thing. And I got married and have had 3 more children and then another because my bonus daughter came to live with us. So I definitely look different. But it's a good time. It's happy. It's joyful. It also has bonus parenting comes with a lot of other things. But the biggest thing that it comes with is really joy if you look at the right things. So yes, my get back is exactly what it's supposed to be. And then my spring forward, because we done got back, okay? We done getting back. We springing forward now, okay?
I like that.
My spring back is going to be all of those things I said. That New York Times bestseller and that $1 million business. I can't give you the date, but when it happens, we will have a spring forward.
Yes.
That's right. That's right. That's right. And so y'all remember when we had our it was after the launch and we had, was it brunch over Aisha's house?
Yeah.
Y'all remember that?
It was a get back appreciation for our volunteers.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
That was my first time ever having a mimosa.
Oh my God.
Really?
Monica.
Really?
And I was like, who thought it?
Listen,
now you drinking bourbon and everything.
Oh, give me an old fashioned. Old fashioned me, please.
Listen. The first lady has left the building.
Right.
Now, I mean, you can be another one again, but that one has left the building. So yes.
If I ever become another one, I'll be a liberated one.
Yeah.
I'll be free. Praise Lord, I'm free. No longer bound.
Yes.
But Aisha has always been an inspiration. Like I said before, she was the calm after the storm. She was the one that brought in a space of being leveled. Okay, y'all, come on back. This is what we're gonna do. Like, okay, yeah, we'll we need to do that. We need to relax. We need to get it together. Okay, we'll be okay.
Like the Maya Angelou of the group.
Yes, she's the Maya Angelou of the group. Yes.
That's one thing I can say, even in all of this, and I really do appreciate y'all saying that, because sometimes you do need your girlfriends to really hold a mirror up, because you can be going through so much and the enemy, is just telling you all the wrong things, is lying to you. So you're like, oh, I'm not, I don't have wisdom. I'm not this, I'm not that. But really having you guys just kind of speak those things over me and then confirm those things, I do believe that was strength. and it may seem like, oh, she's always more peaceful, or she always has this, or she always has a wise word. But some of that stuff would have never been spoken, right? Because we're talking about speaking up, would have never been spoken without y'all's confirmation that y'all understood those gifts and even calling those gifts out. So I think that this is just a testament to having real friendship, and real friendship doesn't mean y'all go out every time, half the time. Look, I done had 3 kids and a bonus. I ain't been nowhere with them. I think I made it to one thing Crystal had. No, Monica's cookout and Erica's birthday. Honey, in 19 years. That's all I've been to. But I'm still here. I'm still in the group. I am still loved, and I still love them. But I mean, I just think that like y'all giving me that space and that environment helped me to really speak up and to speak and to not be afraid of the gifts that God's given me and to use them. And then, it just landed well, I guess. That's what I would say.
It definitely did.
I appreciated it. So
yeah, I listened. I was like, okay, she has spoken. Maya has spoken.
You know what? Maya.
We'll do it. We'll listen. We'll act right.
Yes, you are so funny, Monica.
All right, Crystal, you started your story, but you didn't tell us where you are now. You've done a whole lot.
I have done a whole lot, but first I just want to say don't you almost get emotional that God, he loves us so much that he sent us each other.
Yeah.
He knew specifically what we were going through, and that we were the only ones that would be able to minister to one another. I mean, through Erica, I met my husband, and Aisha has calmed me and been a wonderful source of inspiration. And Monica, honey, she has helped me get my mind off some things, and we've had some funny, wonderful conversations. And he knew just what we needed. So strategic. And so I just get emotional when I think about the intentionality of our God. But during that moment when we all came together, my daughter wasn't even a year old. She was probably about 7, 8 months old. I was going to say sperm donor. Her biological.
Look at you.
Well, okay, whatever they were. Let me know they are moving across the country, and basically I had to figure this thing out by myself. And then all of a sudden they had another partner and everything. And so I was dealing with depression, what I felt like was public humiliation. And I just felt low. And these girls helped me realize, hey, we all want better for ourselves, and we're going to come together and do it, and come and do it together. At that moment, I just felt almost like, and I was mid-30s, that I had messed up so bad that my life was going to be over. I really felt that way. I didn't think that I would be able to go on and do more, but being with the ladies allowed me to know that, hey, there was life after that, and we were on our get back. So on the get back, so many things have happened. I've expanded my territory for so many years. I was just with WLOU, felt as if there was like, is there anything else? And had an opportunity to host a segment on Wave before. I don't know if I've told you ladies, but I am the voice for Southern Indiana Tourism Bureau, and I've done their Sew In campaigns. Yes. And then God, what are the people saying that phrase, God spent the block on me or whatnot? You want to talk about someone living check to check and literally faking it until they made it? I was on food stamps for some years when I was at a radio station. Absolutely. Wow. There were times to where I had just enough gas in my tank and it would have to last me until my next paycheck. And when you talk about waking up in the middle of the night, walking around your big home with your husband there and your nice car in the garage, totally not being able to recognize your life.
Yes.
It wasn't until I said, you know what, life's going to stop happening to me. I'm going to start happening to life and declaring what I want out of this life. Yeah. And so to go from being abandoned to being loved more abundantly.
Yes.
to go from, living check to check to writing checks and being able to, you know what I'm saying?
Listen,
That is good.
come
He's
on.
faithful. And I am doing public relations and radio, and I'm doing my own talk show, and I've got some other big news that I can't wait to make public. But this is what happens when you call yourself, your life to the carpet and say, hey, let's get back on track. And I am here. I'm taking God for his word. Everything he said I can have, like one of y'all said that. Erica, everything he said I can have, I'm ready, God, and I want it right now. And God is just so good. And so I know I couldn't be where I am without these y'all are my sisters.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And it's wonderful to see how much your husband adores you.
Yes.
Because you deserve that.
Yes, you do.
You deserve that.
They do know, but when I tell y'all, it was bad. Like Erica literally, when I was going through that situation, said, get up and get out of this house. I was low, talking about dark days. And to see how God gave me beauty for ashes.
I was just about to say that.
Ooh-wee.
Yeah, he surely did.
It just blows my mind. It just shows me how faithful God is, because we did vision boards.
Yes.
Alicia had family and kids in the center of her vision board. And then I had boss, business, the world in the center of mine. And family was real small down in the left corner. So I got all of the things that I had in the middle of that vision board. And so now I'm working on the thing that was down at the bottom, which is now in the center of my board.
Yeah.
But Aisha, you got it. You got what you prayed for. Crystal, you got what you prayed for. Monica, you did too. Even Ashi, with her getting into real estate and photography, and she's now a fiance. God is just faithful. And to see where we were, and where we are now, like it just blows my mind.
Can I say this about Ashi? Because Ashi's story was she shared how her son had to go live with the father. And so she always worried about that relationship. And God gave her the answer in which she was wondering. She was wondering, am I significant in my son's life? Do I even matter? And he wrote something in class and talked about how I love my mom so much, and she's the person that I look up to the most.
Come on.
It makes such a big difference in my life when I look up and she's there at my games. She wept like a baby. She shared the letter with all of us, but that's what she was wanting. She was wanting to feel as if she was still making an impact in her son's life, although they don't live in the same area.
And you definitely reap what you sow, because she would travel 3 times to Indianapolis for his games in 1 week, 3 times in 1 week to go see him play. And it didn't matter if she got off at 5 o'clock and she had to be on the road at 5:30. She was there each and every time. And I told her, I said, it's kind of like when after my divorce and my ex-husband was trying to brainwash my children. I said, I'm not going to say anything against him, because eventually they're going to see the love I have for them. And so I'm not going to fight fire with fire. I'm going to fight fire with love. I said, right now you're fighting that fire with love, and he's going to see how much you care for him, and you're going to know how much he loves you, not because of what you've done, but because you're his mother, for goodness sakes. And he sees you. Nobody can take that away. Nobody can.
And so now he's all grown and big and looking like he's going to get a starring role in the NFL. And how much the first person he going to take care of is what? His mama.
Yeah.
He actually has 2 D1 offers.
Wow.
I believe. And Ashi's, what does she call herself? A grandma?
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, she has a grandbaby.
She's got a grandbaby, and then y'all said that she's got an upcoming wedding to a guy that she reconnected with through the Get Back
Girls. Yeah. Forgot about that. Sure did.
I saw
was it at the launch
yesterday too.
Was it at the launch, or did they meet after that?
He was one of the visual artists, wasn't
he? He was, yeah. He was one of the artists at our show or at our launch.
Yeah, at the launch.
Monica, your husband's between one of us. We gotta
He's
shake out
in
our
somebody's circle.
We've already met him.
Mine. Dang.
I got next.
Oh yes, Erica.
Yes,
Yes,
yours too, Erica. Yours too.
yours too.
Erica
Oh,
and
maybe-
I, we agreed
yes.
earlier that we're gonna have a double wedding.
We did.
Okay.
We
I
said
don't
that
see
earlier
that
today.
happening. Erica,
That's
would
not
you
gonna
allow
happen.
that to
Y'all
happen?
both too
Yeah, we'll be bridevillas,
bride.
twinzillas.
Yes, there was that. What was that movie where they were fighting going down the aisle? They were
Yes.
trying to go.
I was never that young girl that thought about the wedding. I do not have a desire to have this big elaborate wedding. Give me a production outside of the wedding. Like, let me just do a show. That's what I want.
Ooh, I could see it.
As far as a wedding, like I could go to the courthouse. Seriously. I'm not interested in the grand, just never have.
I did that the first time in the courthouse, but I want to be a princess.
Yes.
Yeah.
I love
In a
it.
quaint space. Okay, so a couple of weeks ago, we only have a few more minutes, but a couple of weeks ago, we came together and we talked about our affirming word for the year. So we don't have to go into all of that, but can somebody unpack the power behind having a theme for the year?
Ooh, that's
It
good.
works. It works. Last year for 2022, I said my word was higher, and I definitely went higher in every sense of the word. And for 23, my word is just love. At first, it was accelerate, and I was like, "Wait a minute, I'm a little old. I can't be going too fast." So let me take that back. And just love. I just want to be love and give love, and it's very powerful to speak over your life in that way.
Mm-hmm.
Amen. I go write Bible with it. The Bible says, write the vision and make it plain.
Yes.
And something magical, something supernatural, happens when you put pen to paper and say, this is what I want for my life. And thoughts become things. And so it's so important for you to have what can act as your roadmap as you are, going on this thing called life.
Mm-hmm.
I know we were all pretty cautious about our word this year.
Yeah.
I know, right?
We expected to manifest. It manifested, but not the way we expected it
Exactly.
to. So I had a word. My word was going to be prosper for next year, but I was like, oh gosh, what if he wants me to figure out what life is like without prospering? But prosper is at the base of my experience. I better not choose that.
You said no.
But that also goes along with vision boards and creating through, like you said, writing the vision and making it plain, and not just doing that because you can. Somebody sent me a screenshot of his daughter, and she had a vision board. He went and fixed her tire, and he put out this vision board. It was a poster board, and she wrote a couple things on there. And she said, this is what I want to do. And he's like, no, you can't just write stuff down. You have to walk it out. You have to have an action plan. You have to, if you just list it like that, there could be mess associated with it. So you have to be specific with this. And so it's not just about pasting words on a board or pasting pictures on a board. It's about envisioning who you're going to become, having faith, because faith without works is dead, and then walking out that vision. It just doesn't happen like Crystal said. It's not something that's magical. It is supernatural, but it's not magical. So there's some things that we need to do to make sure that we're able to manifest. So can each of you give the audience one thing that they can do to make sure that their goals they set actually comes into fruition?
Ooh.
I'll say consistency and discipline. That's what works. You have to be consistent and you have to be disciplined. Set your goal and say, this is what I need to do. These are the steps that I need to take to get here, and do it every day until you make it.
That's good. I would say for me, don't be afraid to go alone and stop waiting for somebody else to give you what you can already do. Yeah. It's already inside of you. If you need to ask for help, but just know that you don't have to wait around. You can get to it.
And stop asking people for permission too.
Ooh, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, that's good.
For me, it's attitude. There is so much truth in that saying, attitude is latitude, and how you act about things. I truly believe what we put out comes back. And so if you have a good attitude and you're hopeful and you try to stay on a good vibration or good frequency, I truly believe that everything that you desire in your life shall come to pass. And what does that? That means being grateful. That means being kind. That means living life service. That means just being a good person. And we know that whatsoever a man soweth, that shall he also reap.
Right.
I think also with that attitude, Crystal, don't be afraid to celebrate other people. Because
Yes.
all of these ladies been killing it in the business, in the business world. And I'm not going to sit back and woe is me. I'm going to celebrate and
Right.
going to just say, like, God is good and he's faithful. And if he's doing it for them, then the things that I require. So not everybody has to be this, has to attain all the things that these ladies have attained. But what God has for you is for you. And the same way he does it big for them, he'll do it big for you in the area of what you truly desire. Not what you think you want, but what you truly desire.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And I would say mentorship, because there's someone who's already done it. So you can learn from their mistakes and you can grow based on what they know. And so don't be afraid to ask for help. Don't be afraid to be vulnerable in your journey, because like I said, they already know, they've already done it. So that's vital. And we have so many coaches now, whether you know them or not. You can get a life coach, a business coach, or a career coach, any type of coach, and they can pave the way. They can pave the way for you, make it easier for you. Yeah.
Question though, because you really brought up something that maybe a lot of people are interested in knowing for themselves. How does one get a mentor now? You feel like we're grown, and a lot of people think that mentorship is usually for younger people. So how would one go about getting a mentor now? Because I tell you what, I had a mentorship epic fail. Someone that I had looked up to didn't turn out being who I thought they were, and they were in my, industry. But it seems as if as we grow older, it's pretty few and far between of people willfully lending you their secret weapons and information and things like that.
Well, a lot of times now it comes with, go ahead, Erica.
No, go ahead.
A lot of times now it comes with monetization. So people don't offer their advice or their mentorship. That's why they're a coach. They don't offer it for free. So, but word of mouth is the biggest way to really learn who can bring the umph to the table. Because if someone else has experienced their coaching, their mentorship, and they know there's a testament connected to their work, then that is the best way that I've seen, where you have someone who's not just trying to get your dollars, but really knows the business and is really trying to take you to the next level. Erica?
Yeah, I'm sure there's a proper way to go about asking for mentorship, but I just tell people they're my mentor, and they find out when I'm thanking them and say, my mentor said, and they're like, what? But yeah, so that's how I get mine. I got like 3 or 4 people that are my mentors that have no idea that they're my mentors.
She just adopted them. They're adopted mentors at this point.
Yeah. Well, ladies, I appreciate you all for your time and your talents. If I could pay each of you, a part of my $1.1 billion I'm going to win tonight with Mega Millions, I would, but I'm not going to. I'm going to keep that for me and my family and my legacy and generations to come.
Wow.
No, I would take y'all to Ruth's Chris. Is that enough?
At least it's not Cracker Barrel.
Hey, you sleep on Cracker Barrel is good. You could never get a bad breakfast meal there.
Oh, the grandma, is it grandma's breakfast platter?
Come on now.
Cracker Barrel on purpose. My mom bought us DoorDash from Cracker Barrel 2 days ago, me and my sister. And I was like, Cracker Barrel of all places, who does this? Crystal and my mother. That's it. Y'all
those pancakes, though.
I love
those pancakes.
If you win $1 billion, no, thank you on pancakes. Unless there's a chef that shows up and going to cook them pancakes for the next year.
Yes, I'll get you all a chef. I'll get each of you a chef.
Right. Can I share this phrase with you real quick before you go out of here? I saw this, and it's so befitting of our conversation, and it says, Your friends determine your destiny. And
Yes.
so I just want to thank the Give Back Girls
Mm.
for helping me carve out and still continue propelling forward in my destiny. And I'm glad I get a chance to do it with each and every one of you.
Oh, thank you, Crystal, and likewise.
That's
Well,
fun.
we are out of time. I want to thank you all for tuning in to Silent No More radio show and podcast with Dr. Monica. And our title for this week was Speak Up with the Get Back Girls. You can listen every Saturday at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on envisionbroadcasting.com. And I want you all to love each other and go be great.